Hello again everyone and welcome back to Dragon Age 2. We are back here and we are in the middle of the Meredith fight, and she has summoned some godforsaken stone marble creature, whatever the hell this thing is. I don't know how to describe. Are we even able to attack it? Oh yes we are. It's a gate guardian. What in the hell is... Its health is going down quite quickly, actually. Okay. Perhaps this guardian is not quite as strong as we thought he might be. Have we got him? Yeah, we've toppled him. Right. Meredith, are you gonna come fight us again? Yes, you are. Everyone on Meredith right now. So in the end, it looks like both Orsino and Meredith are going to die. I hope. Meredith, you're not going to win on your own. All your Templars have seen you for what you really are now. Has she summoned another Guardian? Yes, she has. Let's get right on him. Get right on it. Oh, is there two of them now? Another one is slowly getting up. We need to kill this one quickly. Oh god. Oh god. They're starting to crawl down. Need to kill this one. They're starting to come down. Right, that one's dead. Quick. A slave statue. She's converting the statues into weapons of destruction, essentially. Oh, okay, she's vulnerable again. Right, we seem to have managed to divide our attention quite well here. What the hell did she do? I'm not even sure I want to know. God, look how many statues are coming down. Again, though, we seem to be able to spread out enough to be able to combat everybody. I hope. Although Isabella is going to need healing in a second. Yeah, Isabella, heal yourself. Don't throw your own life away, please. Oh, it's getting a bit rowdy over there. Shit, there's more of them. Oh, they're coming off the damn walls now. Oh my god. Okay, this is getting slightly more than what I was originally anticipating. There's gate guardians left, right, and centre. I don't even know where Meredith is right now. Is she back up there? Yeah, she's back up there again. Holy hell. Give us a second wind. Holy crap. She's creating an army of statues, and if this doesn't prove that Meredith has gone round the bend, I don't know what does. I mean, I think she was round the bend to begin with, but like I said, I was all stunned.
We must also have insult added to injury. Spare mages. Give them free, and they will use it to tear down everything we hold dear. No, it cannot be allowed. I will stop it.
Meredith, what are you doing?
Hear me, champion. I will defeat you.
No, you are not going to defeat us. You do not have it within you to defeat every single one of us. We've nearly got her. Right, there's still more statues forming though.
Watch, champion, as I crush the life out of your sister. Watch as
No! No! Bethany! I think we saved her. Meredith! There's one more statue. Shit the bed. Right, we've got her.
Taking so long. And one so evil.
I think I think she's about to die mid monologue. She did. Varric killed her mid monologue.
I will not be defeated. Make her hate your humble servant.
Did she get turned into a statue? What happened to her? Is she dead? Oh. Oh god. She got turned into pure lyrium basically. Holy shit. Oh god, well we're surrounded by Templars. Cullen. Cullen. Think of this. Oh god, they're all backing away. Are they scared of us? Certainly wasn't us who did this. Do we just leave? Is that it? Well, we achieved our goal of getting...
Word of the slaughter spread quickly.
Oh god.
The champion's name became a rallying cry, a reminder that the mighty Templars could be defied. He had defended the mages against a brutal injustice, and many lived to tell the tale. The circles rose up and set the world on fire. More Templars arrived at Kirkwall to restore order, but we were already long gone. We vanished into the hills, and circumstance eventually forced us all to leave the champion's side.
Oh no.
Well, all of us except for Isabella.
Oh,
We still
Isabella.
hear stories, of course. With each telling they grow, even if at the core remains the truth. A new legend had been born.
And that was the legend of Hawk.
So that's it. That's the whole story.
That's everything.
Then Meredith provoked the circle. She was to blame.
Yes, of course she
Or
was.
that damned idol was.
Oh well, yeah.
Or Anders. Take your
I
pick.
think it was a combination of
Even
all of them.
so, had the champion not been there,
It might never have even gone that far.
I see.
So how is hearing all this going to help? You've already lost all the circles. In fact, haven't the Templars rebelled as well? I thought you decided to abandon the Chantry to hunt the mages.
Not all of us desire war, Varric. Please, if you know where the champion is, you must tell me. He is a hero. A man that the mages would listen to. Someone who was there at the beginning. The champion could stop this madness before it's too late.
So this is the
He may
Mage
be the
Revolution
only
that's
one who
happening now,
can.
basically.
Is that what this is all about? In that case, I wish I could help you.
Just tell me one thing, then. Is the champion dead?
Though, I doubt that.
Then you are free to go, Varric. May the Maker watch over you during the dark times ahead of us.
Same to you, Seeker. Same to you.
Wow.
So, did you...
Gone. Just like the Warden.
Was this Liliana? It is.
That is no coincidence.
So, do we proceed with the original plan? Or keep looking?
Both the
It is in the Maker's
the original
hands now.
Warden, hero of
We put our
Ferelden,
faith in him.
and the hero from the champion of Kirkwall both vanished into the ether. With Isabella somewhere, of course. Oh, what is in that book? It says we put our faith in the Maker, she says. And there we go. Achievement unlocked. Epic. There we go. We have completed Dragon Age 2. Whew. Well, that was... That... Oh. It's the second Dragon Age game in a row where they've just brought out some fantastic music to end the game. Wow. So I guess this is probably time to give my thoughts, as you can probably hear as you listen to the beautiful music in the background. So Dragon Age 2, I've got to say, it followed on very, very well from Origins in my opinion. It was... I love this. I've not heard this song before, but I would love it. Like, just listening to it, it's fantastic. Oh, it's beautiful. Right. Yeah. I think Dragon Age 2 is very close to being on the levels that Origins is. I think 2 is slightly more of an... I want to say an arcade-style focus game. I'm not saying it's an arcade game. I'm not saying it's full-on, like, unrealistic and anything like that. I won't go that far. But I think Origins had more of a serious, gritty feeling to it. There's a lot of grit in this game. There's a lot of, like, things that you can get invested in and kind of, like, darkness in this game with the Templars and the Mages and blood magic and everything to do with the Fade, the demons, etc. There's a lot of stuff in that, but what I mean is that the whole feeling of the game felt more like, I don't know, almost rigid and kind of quite... It's very hard to describe in two words, whereas this felt more like, I don't know, a little bit more... I'm not describing this very well at all, am I? I'm not... It felt more, it felt more kind of open in the sense that it was less like, it was... You felt less of a personal thing, whereas it's more, you had more of a focus on the grand picture of what was going on around you, whereas kind of in Origins you felt more of a personal kind of connection to the whole thing, I feel. So both had a grand plot behind them, don't get me wrong, obviously. But I felt this was less personal focus and more you focus on what was going on with Kirkwall and everything around it. But I think, storyline-wise, I think it is excellent. I think it's a very, very good game. I believe I remember hearing this game got a lot of criticism from when it came out for it kind of being too much of a departure from what Origins was. And in a sense, I understand it, because the leveling up works differently with the talent trees, and there's less of a focus on the kind of secondary skills. Whereas what I mean by that, in Origins you had like survival skills, you had the apothecary things, you had focus on bombs and traps, etc. I don't think you have to bother with that as much. Obviously you can craft things such as potions, but I don't think it's anywhere near as important as it was in Origins. But that's what I think they maybe meant. But storyline-wise, I think... like I said, it was excellent. Like seeing how Hawke kind of rose from this just boy, essentially, almost like a young man, to kind of almost stumbling upon. Like, obviously, he initially fled from the Blight, which is why it was a good follow-on from Origins. You kind of got to see what was happening outside of what was going on during the 5th Blight, with obviously what was. Because it's kind of a parallel timeline, isn't it? You know, it runs alongside what was going on in Origins. But it's a really nice little kind of tale of seeing how Hawke kind of grew from running from the Blight to stumbling into Kirkwall, and then looking to rejuvenate his family. See, I described it as quite a grand thing, but in a sense it is still personal, isn't it? You know, it's looking to bring his family back to what they used to be, to kind of get them back to the name they used to have, and then almost being thrust into the position which she ended up being in, of having such an influential part of Kirkwall's future and what was going on. Obviously managing to fight the Canary off when they decided to invade Kirkwall, and then eventually being the one who kind of swung the tide in the Templar and Mage conflict right at the end there. Yeah, the storyline wise, see, the whole thing was generally centered around Kirkwall and the Templar and Mage conflict. Before I do mention that, the Canary was a fantastic. They had a fantastic role to play, in my opinion, because early on they were very kind of cryptic. You didn't really understand why they were there. People made theories, but you never really could tell. Then when it was realized what they were there to do, it was kind of shocking, especially the whole thing with Isabella, realizing that she was the one who kind of brought them there in the first place. And then, but they were compelled to be there through their religion. But then, and almost you kind of sympathized with them because largely they were provoked almost by radicalists who were trying to drive them out, and obviously by Isabella stealing something that was actually theirs. But then later on, obviously, you got into the Templar and Mage conflict, which was a plot point throughout the game that it kind of blew up, especially in Act 3. And I thought it was brilliant because there was so many questions asked so many questions you had to ask yourself, I think, such as oh, which side is right, because many games have a clear black and white kind of thing going on for them, but like Mass Effect did with the whole Paragon and Renegade system, you can kind of tell what was right and what was not, but because you were fighting against a clear evil in the Mass Effect games. Whereas in this, you have two sides which believe they are right and in many ways are right, but but then it's not clear who is in the right. You have to ask yourself a lot of questions to kind of get to that answer. And I viewed it, I said all the way throughout the game, you cannot generalize. You cannot paint everybody with the same cloth. All the Templars cannot be painted like Meredith, because Meredith was a tyrant, essentially. However, you also cannot paint all the mages like blood mages, because they are not all the same. Absolutely not. Gideon Emery, is that the guy who was in Call of Duty, by chance? I'm curious. Yeah, it could well be. And Brian Bloom, well done, Varric. See, it's almost cool seeing all these characters, seeing who played them and such. But yeah, I had that opinion throughout the whole game. And was I right? Maybe not. Maybe some people will have a different opinion to me. But for me, yeah, it can be looked at in many different ways, in my opinion. But I'm happy with my choice. I feel it transpired kind of the way I was hoping. Obviously, we didn't want it to end the way it did, but there was almost a feeling of inevitability about it. Orsino was the one who shocked me the most. His kind of turn was almost unnecessary. It didn't feel like he needed to do that, and it wasn't characteristic of him throughout the whole game. Like he gave in basically to what Meredith was trying to fight against. But yeah, the whole plot was really cool. I thought it was thoroughly enjoyable. To discuss the gameplay, I thought the one thing that it suffered from was repetition in terms of the areas that we used. Like, many of the mansions were the same, many of the caves were very similar, many of the outlying areas were very similar to one another. So that kind of did make it suffer. It didn't feel as almost striking as Origins when you were like going through the same places over and over again, but just slightly modified, if you get me. So that was kind of a low point, I think. But I think combat-wise, I think it was better than Origins, because you felt more in control. Like I said, Origins required more tactical play. But I think 2 kind of really made you feel like you were fighting more, if you get me. So I did enjoy that part. It required less micromanagement than Origins did. I feel like you did have to micromanage your party a lot in Origins. But 2, you kind of had to, you kind of got, you were able to step away from that a bit. Party-wise, like I said before, I think that the companions in this game are very, very well-rounded. I don't think there are as many iconic ones, like maybe Alistair would go down as one, or Morrigan, etc., etc. I think were kind of very unique characters, which had a lot of appeal to people. I think there was less in this game, but at the same time, I think they were very well-rounded. Like for me, to go through all of them, Aveline was a very, very strong woman, very likable woman. One who you can definitely sympathise with. She had a lot of kind of grit, like cold parts during the, definitely around Act 2 / start of Act 3. She was kind of very almost standoffish, but I think overall she was a very, very good character. She was a good person. She's almost the Alistair of 2 without the kind of jokiness. Anders, if you look at him throughout the course of the game, does kind of devolve slowly into a lunatic, basically. I feel a great deal of guilt for what happened to the Chantry at this point, because I had a strong suspicion about what he was doing, but I didn't realise he would go that far. But what you will have to say about Anders is that he was a compelling character, because I hated him at the end. I enjoyed him largely throughout the game, especially towards the beginning when you first meet him, but gradually, if you look at him, he does get worse and worse as the game goes on. Isabella, for me, again, is a bit of a roller coaster. I always think, in a lot of Bioware games that I played so far, there is always a female character, I believe, that has a rough exterior, but a soft center. And I think Isabella fits that mold perfectly for me. In my opinion, it takes a long time to draw it out of her, but she eventually kind of gets that softer side. Like, even that random, like, party banter. She's walking along with Meryl and she said, "You're a good person. You deserve better than the life that I have." I think that character evolution for Isabella was actually really good. Obviously, you kind of felt betrayed by her initially when she comes out and says, "Oh, it was me who brought the Canary to Kirkwall in the first place." But at the same time, she is a very good character. Meryl, I don't think I was very fair on Meryl at times, because she's a very likable character. She has her dark points, but she means well, and she's a very kind of almost adorable character in the sense that she's very ditzy and kind of almost clumsy, and she just looks lost a lot of the time. But she's got a very good heart, and the Keeper saw that as well. She tried to protect her from the beginning, and that's very admirable in many senses. It was great that she decided to stay with us in the end as well. Sebastian as well, the DLC companion, he fit into the story very well, just like Shale did in Origins. He was a very good companion to have. It almost feels like the whole thing of the Chantry and Althena dying wouldn't have been as striking as if he wasn't there. Obviously, I didn't use him very much as part of my party, but yeah, he was clearly a good person, and his story was quite compelling with whether to go back to Starkhaven or leave them to do what they were doing. Varric was awesome. Varric is arguably the best companion. He's a brilliant blend of everything. Like, he has that little bit of a dark side, almost, kind of that little mischievous side, but he's so charismatic and suave and witty and is very, very effective in combat too. And he's always loyal. He's loyal through the whole game. Apart from that one little blip, whereas obviously him and Aveline kind of got turned by the Desire Demon quite early on when we were trying to rescue. I think it was it the Viscount's son, or was it somebody else? No, the Viscount's son was Canary, wasn't he? Might have been Fainreal. It could have been Fainreal. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, he was fantastic as well. Full credit to Varric. Fenris was the only one that you'd probably say that I was never really a fan of. I never connected to him personally as much as I did the rest of them. He started off to be very edgy, but then he just became very miserable and kind of glum, essentially. We also never got that quest with him to really solve what was his issue, which was being pursued by Daenerys, I believe his name was. So that was never resolved, sadly. And then you have... Oh, you have nice some music here. And then you have Bethany, of course, who, you know, obviously disappeared midway through the game, then she came back. She was a great character, you know. Well, not as unique, but she's a good person to have there. Like you kind of felt that kind of personal connection with her as a sister. I believe in some games you can have Carver as your sibling in the game. So I don't know how that happens, what does that, but yeah. He was a bit of a dick, but apparently from what I understand, he kind of develops as the game goes on. But yeah. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this experience. I gave this a solid 8.5, and a perfect time in that as well. I give it a solid like 8.5/9 out of 10. Honestly, I would. I've thoroughly enjoyed this game. Really, I have. Like I said, the story is a bit slow at times. It kind of slows down and accelerates all of a sudden. So it's a bit oddly paced of a story, but apart from that, I can't really fault the game that much. Now, so yeah, this has been Dragon Age 2, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the journey with me. I have thoroughly enjoyed it myself. It's obviously taken quite a while to get through. Almost 50 hours that we have pumped into this game over many months. But I have thoroughly enjoyed it all the way through, I must say. Yeah, so obviously the next game in the series is Inquisition. I wonder if we will find out more about whether the hero Ferelden or more about Hawke in the next game. What characters will be in the game, I don't know. But obviously I don't know if I'll be playing that next. So obviously since Dragon Age 2 has concluded, obviously I will be starting a poll at some point soon, maybe after Christmas, I don't know, we'll see how it goes, as to what game we do play next after this one. But you'll be seeing that from me soon. But until then, I really appreciate everyone who watched along with me, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you have enjoyed Dragon Age 2 as much as I have. And yeah, I will catch you all in the episode of, whatever game I play next. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching once again, guys. If you have them, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll catch you in the next series. Thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.